Hi guys, it's Nirmal from Nandanam Exotics, and today we'll be seeing how to make a cute little mossarium that is awesome for indoors. This one I made a month back. I think it's going really good, so I thought I'll show you guys how to do one. So friends, mossariums and mini terrariums are really trending right now, and they have become a staple in interior situations. So please do watch the video to the end. I'll be showing you how to do this. It's very easy. So hope you guys enjoy the video. So friends, if you are watching the channel without subscribing, do consider subscribing to the channel. Also press the bell notification button so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. So we'll get into the details of the video now.
So as I previously mentioned in my intro, this is a terrarium that I built a month back, and it has been very successful in growing moss. So this is why I thought of making a tutorial video showing you guys how to make such a small cute terrarium. So try to watch the video till the end. I'll be explaining how I did this particular terrarium, and also I'll be showing you guys to make a new one as well. So friends, let's get started. The first thing we have to do is find some beautiful mosses around your place and collect it properly. Here I'm using this blade that people use to put putty on the wall. It's called a putty blade. So find something that is flat and sharp that you can just scrape the moss from the surface. So depending upon the surface you're scraping the moss from, and also the tool that you're using to scrape the moss, apply sufficient pressure as well as be gentle at the same time so that you won't damage the moss. If you are planning to make a very big terrarium and you need big pieces of moss, I suggest you take it much more gently and try to get it in big pieces. While collecting moss for such projects, always be sure to collect many different types of moss so that you'll have different patterns and structures to play with in your terrarium. And also be a cautious gardener. Friendly to the environment. Do not collect more than you need and leave healthy batches of moss to nature itself. So don't overexploit nature. So friends, here I have assembled all the things that we are going to use for this project. I'll list them one by one right now. The first thing we are going to look at is some gravel. I have used gravel of this size. This is for the false bottom. This is all the moss that I have just collected for this particular project. I didn't go overboard. I know that it's a very small space, so that will do more than enough. This is the cute little elephant toy that I'm going to use in this setup. That is the cap of the terrarium glass, by the way. These are some stones that I have taken. I might not be using the entire thing. We need a piece of mosquito net or any other fabric just to build the false bottom. This is the new tumbler, glass tumbler, that I'll be using for this mini terrarium project. It's a hexagon shaped tumbler, pretty interesting. These are the three ingredients that I'm going to use to make the medium. That is topsoil, black topsoil. That is very fine sieved sand, just to improve the texture of the soil. And this is sieved cocoa peat, that too to increase the moisture retention as well as the overall air circulation inside the medium. But generally we need very thick clayey medium for growing moss. So these are all the things we will be needing for this project. Let's go into the making now. So first of all, we are going to make the medium. I have added half a part of fine sieved sand. Now I am adding 1 part topsoil, or you can also use compost. Now it's a half part sieved cocoa peat. I sieved it just because I don't want other big pieces of cocoa peat poking out. It's a very small setup, so we need everything to be very fine and smooth. Now mix these three ingredients really well until you don't have much clumps. So break all the bigger portions and get a fine medium, just like what I'm showing you right now. I have sieved it and also crushed all the bigger pieces to get a very fine mixture. So friends, we have done all the major preparations for this setup. Now let's take the tumbler. It should always be very dry when you start off a project, otherwise things can get messy. So first of all, we are going to start making the false bottom. For this, add the gravel that you have collected, and it should be almost 1 inch to half an inch depending upon the container size. Now we are going to add the mosquito fiber or any other fabric that is going to separate this level from the medium. This is to ensure that the medium that you are going to grow the plant will not seep into this area. So once that is complete, use your fingers or any other material to push the net really firm to the false bottom. Now we are starting to fill it up with the required amount of medium that we prepared earlier. Add gently and only sufficient amount. Do not overdo this step. Since moss do not require a lot of medium, you just have to add a very thin layer if you're just going for a flat landscape. But here I am trying to build up a slope. That is the reason why I'm adding this much medium. So as per your design and the plans that you're going to use, decide how much medium you have to add into the system. Also keep in mind the overall scale and size of the tumbler or the setup you're making. So proportionate to the size of your tumbler, reduce or increase the amount of medium you need. Now the next step is to make up the topography or the overall slope or flatness of the surface, and pack the medium down with your finger or any other equipment you're using. So friends, in terrarium language, this is called as hardscaping. When we are using the medium and inanimate objects to design, that is called as the hardscaping. So right now I have started taking small pebbles that I have chosen for this project and arranging them in certain ways until I find a desirable design that is satisfactory for myself. You guys also do it. There is no rule to it. It's depending purely on your imagination and what you are trying to achieve from such a small setup. So friends, I'm happy with the way it's looking right now. So this is what I'm going to go with, and I think this is where we can say that our hardscaping is over. If you are planning to add more inanimate and non-living things into it, that still counts as hardscaping. So finish the entire hardscaping, and the next step is to wet the system or the medium. This is not applied to other terrariums where you are using normal plants, but here, since we are using only moss, we need the medium to be a little bit sticky or wet so that we can easily attach the moss. Now we get into the fun part of things. We are going to start designing with live moss. This part of a terrarium making is called soft scaping because it is involving soft tissued living things. Here I am using a handy forceps for planting and dropping my moss into space where I want them to be. So always I would suggest a tweezer or a forceps for this. It makes life much more easier. Trying to do this with your fingers would not be a very easy task if the mouth of the vessel is not big enough for your hand. So as per your imagination and creativity, take different types of moss and start arranging them on different spaces that you have allotted. Here I am using the rear end of my forceps to push the moss firmly down to the medium. This step is very important. So friends, I have finished arranging moss in all the available portions in this setup. I am pretty happy with how it turned out. So now technically we can say that we finished soft scaping. Now take a sprayer or whatever way you're watering the system and really water down everything and make sure that the medium is really saturated with water. Always make sure not to overwater also, because it's a very laborious task to remove water from such a closed system. Now take the time to check around your terrarium and see if the excess water is draining to the false bottom. Also make sure that the medium has completely saturated from water. So friends, I have finished most of the work for this particular setup. Now the most interesting part is to add this cute little elephant into this terrarium. So guys, this step is totally optional. You can just leave it with the moss and give it a very natural feel. I had this very cute little elephant in my collection from my old toys, so I went for it. The next major step is to clean the glass from all extra debris, dirt and water. You can use a microfiber fabric for this purpose for best results. So friends, we have finally finished making this mini terrarium or a mossarium. It turned out really cool and I'm so happy with the results. A nighttime view for you guys. I found a small millipede that could actually call this as his home, so I have introduced him into it as well. The aim is to create a naturally sustainable closed environment, but in Kerala climate from where I am, it's not so easy to keep closed terrariums, so I'll be keeping this semi-opened. I'll keep the lid not so tightly closed. Since our place is highly humid, it always produces a lot of condensation from the inside and prevents us from seeing the terrarium, and this is the reason why I'm gonna keep it opened, semi-opened. So friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial video. It was a very fun project for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. This was my very first tutorial video on the channel, so bear with me guys for small mistakes that I have made. Friends, I have other terrarium related videos in my channel. Be sure to check those out as well. I'll leave a link in the description. Also, be sure to give a thumbs up to this video if you like it.
So friends, I hope you guys liked the video today. It was how to make a small mossarium, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, it's Nirmal signing off.